2K. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that grows his channel off of ranting about your video game. I don't want to be that guy. But there's just some things that you allow in your game that just needs to be talked about, needs to be brought to your attention. Hoping that you can fix these things. It doesn't make any sense. 2K, come on. Now, 2K, we as the 2K community, we understand that your build system is flawed. Your build system has been flawed for a while since you let the reins go, per se. You know, your best build systems were the systems where you, as the company, the developers, gave out play styles and you capped the attributes off to what you guys thought matched the build that was being created. But then you let the reins go. And you let the community get their hands on builds and get their hands on the opportunity to create. Well, quite frankly, we create monsters. They create monsters. It's so misleading now where you'll see a build type that states it is a interior force, slashing defender, a paint intimidator, and that build will hit you for 40 points from the 3-point line. Just 3-pointers, 40 points. But that's not what today's topic rant is about. Today's rant is what you guys decided to do with the neglected bunch, aka the sinners. Now, I'm a big man in 2K. I've been a big man in 2K for a very, 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 very long time. Okay. We've been a neglected community for a while, you know. But 2K22 has made me realize we have not been neglected. We've been just right. We've been perfect. Taking account out of last year's next gen 2K21, where sinners became obsolete, they became extinct. They made sure if you made a sinner last year, you were at a high disadvantage. Speed-wise, movement-wise, everything. So for 2K to do that, of course they do this year, and they look towards the sinners. They try to help us out. But my issue with you has began or has started or has came up because, see, me, when I made one sinner that was maxed. Well, sorry, 2 sinners in my career of playing sinner. I've made 2 sinners maxed out. By maxed out, I mean max height, max weight. The first one was in 2K17. I made a 7-3 glass cleaner. That was the birth of me. That was the birth of me playing center. 2K18, I made another 7-3 player. 7'3", 340, rebounding athletic. But after that, I started to make balanced center sizes. And by balanced center sizes, I mean 7'1", 7'2", or 7 foot. I never went back up to 7'3" because it just became too much. You were too much of a liability for your team at 7'3". Because back in those 2Ks, as y'all guys remember, back in those 2Ks, there was no such thing as mismatch expert, or really, there was no such thing as mouse in the house back then. Back then, a point guard you would be able to post up a point guard and be liable to get ripped or blocked by that point guard, that shooting guard, that small forward, that smaller player. So now you come to this year, and well, big men are much more viable of an option offensively. They kill mismatches. They exploit mismatches. You can no longer switch your guards and small forwards confidently on centers and feel like, oh, I'm going to get the stop, or we're going to get the stop, right? Of course not. But the issue is the simple fact that 7-3 players now are virtually unguardable. Now, I get it. You're on two ends of the spectrum here. 7-3 players are supposed to be unguardable, right? 7-3 players are supposed to be beasts and dominant things. But I rebuttal that, and I go against that thought process, is strictly because we have not seen it. We have not seen a 7-3 NBA player just dominate throughout the league. You have not seen it. Shaq is 7-1. Wilt, 7-1. Kareem, 7-2. The only 7-3 player that I can think of currently that plays right now is Kristaps Porzingis. And do we really want to make Kristaps Porzingis as centers? Do we really want to do that? No. But the issue lies with the fact that 7-3 players bully and annihilate any player that's not 7-3. Now, my center currently that I have is 7 foot tall. 7 foot tall. Let's say that again. 7 feet tall. He's 7 feet tall. He's like 260. I get ate up by 7-3 centers. Why? Because 2K, I think, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure a 3-inch difference considers you little. And I've now came to the knowledge that mouse in a house badge is not really that effective on anything. It's just 2K with the height differential. But there's no reason why 7-3 players dominate games. First of all, I understand if a 7-3 player is dominant in the paint. I understand if a 7-3 player is dominant strength-wise. 7-3 players, I understand if they're strong. They're very strong individuals. I understand that. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm mad at the fact that you have now given people the ability to run bum people offense. Now, I have other terms for that, but this is YouTube, and we're looking out for the kids. Bum people offense is the offense where the team comes up the court, they give it to their big man then he backs down the defender, he drop steps towards the baseline like they always do, they pump fake, you don't jump, they pump fake again, you don't jump, they continually hit X or square depending on your system, and they make that shot. Where is that ever good offense? They don't do a post move. They're not hitting you with post fades or a post hook. They're literally just drop stepping into the paint, sitting there, and then 2K allows them to just make the layup highly contested over you because they are 7-3 and you are 7-1. Or they are 7'3" and you are 7 foot. You can have rim protector, you can have intimidator, you can have brick wall, you can have every badge that the game says this is how you get an inside stop. You can have all of that, and that 7'3" guy will literally just shoot BS in the paint and score. That does not develop good IQ. Your game, 2K, is already a game full of some of the worst IQ human beings that have walked this earth. A lot of us in the community know that. We know that. We know that some of the people on this game grew up in Randy's class. They grew up with Randy. They went to school with Randy. Now, if you're wondering who Randy is an individual in my head that I created that is not the brightest bulb in the pack. Randy grew up quite different than the regular kids. Randy, if you've seen Randy at your school, Randy was always in the classroom that had the least amount of kids in there. That's what Randy is. You allow Randy's classmates to come into this game and do things. You allow them to. That's not right. That's not right, okay? That is not okay. You see, this game now has reached a meta stage on both ends of the spectrum. For guards, you have them little peewees running around. We might make a video on them later. But them guards, you got them little peewees running around just dominating everything, make sense. Because what peewee player in the league has dominated anything, you know? And to comment on that, if you look at Isaiah Thomas, a 5'9" player, Isaiah Thomas, his best year, you still would not pick him over any point guard that is of a higher height and a better player. You're not picking on Isaiah Thomas' best year over Steph Curry, over Russell Westbrook, Lord help me, over Damian Lillard, over, I mean, we can even go back. You ain't gonna pick him over no Gilbert Arenas, no Magic Johnson, no Jason Kidd, no Oscar Robertson. Like, cut it out. So why are we making these players? Okay, why are we making these players? But the 7-3 people. The 7-3 people. Now you have started a meta now where people come into the rec with 2 7-3 players. 2 of them. And if you don't match that, you're at a disadvantage. They're not, you are. Because not only are they 7-3, but they can shoot the lights out at 7-3. They are about as strong as Nikola Pekovic at 7-3. They can jump at 7-3. They can run extremely fast at 7-3. They are basically 7-3 demigods. That is ridiculous. And it's 2 of them. It's 2 of them. Me and my friends the other day, we played a rec game during a double rep season, you know, the double rep rec. And we literally lost because they had a center who was 7'3" and a bunch of other small dudes. But given me as the tallest dude, I'm 7'3", right? My power forward is like 6'9", 6'10", regular power forward height. If I'm a mouse, according to the 7'3" player, anybody else on my team that switched, or if we was playing zone and the 7'3" was attacking one player, there was no stopping him. There was absolutely no stopping him. If your biggest player can't stop their biggest player, your team stands no chance. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the greatest 2K player, the greatest player of all time, but I'm pretty defensive minded. Okay, so for me to be getting cooked by a center who ain't doing no moves, he ain't glitching me, he ain't doing a post fade glitch, he ain't doing none of that. He ain't got the Cronus like the other ones used to have. He ain't doing none of that. He's literally just drop stepping into me, pump faking. I'm not jumping, and he's just hitting X and scoring a bucket. I have come to a realization that this center that you've seen, the center that I showed you, the center that I made the highlight video for, he's dead. And it's so crazy because I just finished the season and got him Jim Rat. Now he's dead. He has to be reborn. Could you imagine what he's being reborn to? That's absolutely right. I'm going to have a 7'3" guy. I'm going to do what they do to me. I'm going to make a 7'3" guy. I'm going to come out here with a 7'3". The next time you see some gameplay, it may be with my 7'3". I don't upload 2K for my gameplays. I only upload them for rants. Rants, thoughts, feelings, expressions. That's all my 2K's for. I'm not a gameplay guy. I don't want to be looked at as a gameplay guy, okay? I don't want to be looked at as that. You know? I'm just here to relate to you, the community. So, if you see I'm Chris Jones anywhere in your 2K life, just know he'll most likely be 7'3" if you catch me on a good day. If you catch me on a regular day, you might see my point guard out there or another player. But if you're seeing me and I got a full 5 with me, best believe that player you see me with is 7'3". I'm just letting you know. He will be made. I have to grind him. I'm going to use him as my rebirth. I haven't even made my rebirth yet, but now my rebirth is going to be another center. Ah, man. Thank you, 2K, for making a meta of a 7'3" meta. Now, if you will excuse me,